Alright guys, so got a little bit of a problem going on with the Camaro, and I thought we were going to be able to figure it out, but it turns out, Hookers is, after all, not a good product at all. So, give you a little bit of a backstory. Bought the Hookers Blackheart exhaust system for the 2019 Camaro. As you can see here, these are the old NPP pipes, and the reason why they are not on the car is because these were the ones that were faulty when I originally purchased them. So what ended up happening is once I hooked it all up and got everything good, I mean, it sounded good, the initial startup, but it was probably within a few hours I started to notice, if anybody is familiar with what a loose hanger sounds like in a muffler system, it's super annoying, and it's not something you want to hear on an expensive car and in a very expensive exhaust system. So this exhaust system runs about $1,400, and well, we got the driver's side right here, and then we have the passenger side. And the reason why I'm doing this video is because I don't want anybody to make the same expensive mistake I did. Don't buy this exhaust system if you have a Camaro. And the reason for it, and I'm nothing against Hookers, they do great headers, they do great exhaust systems. Just this particular exhaust system right now, they haven't figured out how to properly do the NPP valve portion of this exhaust system. I don't know what the non-NPP sounds like, but the kit that has the NPP just isn't it. I don't know if it's these valves that they put in there and are just not done correctly. I can tell you right now, and if Hookers ever comes across this video, I can tell you right now the big problem, and I voiced this to them when I called into their tech department, is they're not spring loaded like the OEM manufacturer ones are. So, I mean, the OEM ones, you can't do this. And unfortunately, mine is boxed up right now, so I can't show you the difference. But that's the first problem. It's not spring loaded. The second problem is, you see these notches here on either side. So what happens is, the motor sits on top here, and on the motor, there's basically a piece of metal that runs across here, and that's how this is controlled, right? Well, that motor is just, the part for the motor is, this right here is way too wide. This opening here for the motor to sit in. And so what happens is when you close the valves, when it's open, you don't hear it as much because obviously the exhaust is much louder. But when it's closed, what ends up happening is it pushes this all the way over, right? This gets pushed all the way over to here, and then there's just enough room while it's closed and the exhaust back pressure that, and I'm gonna turn the car on so you can hear it. And these are the ones that they sent me. And another thing that really aggravated me, it really pissed me off, is so they made me new ones, and this is the one right here that's new. You can't really tell, they're a little dirty. But check this out. So their QC process is terrible, right? You probably can't see anything just looking at it, but check this out. When I get up closer on this one, bam. Notice the hooker etching. And just looking at it from a distance, you're not gonna really notice. If you're like me, a perfectionist, and you're not gonna put no bullshit on your car, I noticed it like right away. So the etching's on the tip correctly. The tip is welded on, not quite a whole quarter turn. I would say about, a pretty decent. Here is the hooker etching here. You can see it there. And this is where it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be sitting up here. So this actually right here is the top, which is this part right here, right? And now that you're looking at it, you see, I can barely I can't even slide my finger into that one, right? There's just no room in there. Now if we go to the other side, now notice the difference in gap. Right? That's how it's supposed to look. The etching up top. So they got the passenger side right, but they clearly have a horrible QC process. Right? I'm gonna get up underneath the vehicle real quick, and I'm gonna show you exactly what one of the problems is. So this right here, as you can see, I don't know if you can really make out exactly what we're looking at here. You hear that? That is the problem. And when this thing gets going, and I have a cam, so when this thing gets going, that thing sounds like absolute, just terrible. But yeah, you see that, right? And I went as far, because, you know, I wanted this exhaust system to work. So what I did, oh, it came off. But I put a little bit of JB weld in here. I shoved a little piece of metal in there. And actually, you see the piece of metal is actually still in there with the JB weld. I don't know if you can make out. But it still wasn't enough. And you shouldn't have to do this when you spend as much money as I did on an exhaust system. A few other complaints I got are these things, these exhaust clamps are clamped down pretty hard, right? Check out that exhaust leak. So, I mean, if you plan on going with this system, just know that you're gonna be very dissatisfied with it. So luckily, I purchased through Jegs. So Jegs is gonna refund me my money. I'm gonna go with, which is what I originally was going to go with, but I decided to go the cheaper route, which it really wasn't cheaper. And went with this. So for about 400 more bucks, I'm gonna go with the Borlick ATAC. Hopefully I don't run into the same issue with this. But this is a driver's side one. This is the one that ended up being real bad. But yeah, super upsetting. I think my phone's upside down. Let's flip it back around. Hope that doesn't affect the video footage. But yeah, I mean, it was super disappointing. I mean, I really wanted this thing to work out. But again, be very cautious. I highly doubt that there is, well, I'm pretty sure that they're all going to be manufactured this way. I mean, I don't see them making any adjustments. I called them and talked to the techs over the phone and you know, sent them video footage and pictures of what was actually wrong with it. And as you see, they really don't. They don't really care about their customers. I don't know if that's the case or not, or if hookers should just not do exhaust systems for, I don't know, maybe it's just this particular setup for this car. But yeah, super upsetting. I'm gonna roll a clip of the valves closed so you hear exactly what I hear. And yeah, super upsetting. Sound.